Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, The Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. I'm going to wait and let you guys rock on in. Brandon is joining us, but y'all know we're not going to wait. Well, as soon as I said that, he's popping in. I was getting ready to say we're not going to wait to get our groove on. We're going to do our thing this morning. How you doing, Brandon? I can talk. You can't hear me? What? Yes. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So you guys, I don't know. We just keep having these issues, but let's see who's here at the barbecue. Nick says, good morning, family. She's the first to pop in. I'm going to mute Brandon here as he gets himself.
All right, I think I got it.
Okay, super,
Awesome.
super.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing great. Happy to be alive. Happy to be awake.
Look.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying some new stuff. I'm sick of this. So I'm turning it all around. I thought, let me put the TV on back there. But
thought you had a crystal ball back there. I didn't know what was going on.
I know, right? But yeah, I got us playing as we are playing. Yeah. So Miss Brenda says, great everything, everyone. So welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. Brandon, how is it going there?
It is going good. I had a beautiful morning. Woke up, showered, prayed, had some time to myself, got some coffee that I haven't even tasted yet. I had a bottle of water first. So just starting it off good.
So did you 7-Eleven it, or did you 2-minute drill it?
Well, I prayed it. You know, I do it every morning. So it's already a part of my routine. I think what would I call it? No, it's more than 2 minutes. It's got to be a 7-Eleven. It's like either 7 minutes or 11 minutes.
I've still been trying to figure out
Have you?
Yeah. I'm leaning towards the 7-Eleven just because it says it's a lot deeper. To me, it's deeper than the 2-minute drill. I don't know, but I'll have to still play with it. You guys should be playing so we can figure this one out.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. I'll have to. Maybe there's some kind of resource, we can go through, or I'm sure Dennis Kimbro is an older gentleman. I wonder if he has. I think he has some social media, but I don't know if he's on there a lot. So hopefully, maybe we can get him in one day. That's really the goal for me, is one day to have him come through.
Yeah.
And let us know what his thoughts were on these things.
Yeah. We've reached out a few times. That's why I think the same thing, that I don't think he's really anybody's truly monitoring it, but we'll keep trying, and it'll be on God's time and at the right time. So y'all, let's do what we've been doing here lately, because it feeds my spirit too. We're gonna get our Instagram family in, but as we do that, why don't you guys, you already know.
I already know, Mama. Knowing you.
Y'all ready? Miss Brenda, Monique, I don't know who else is out there. Come on. Get it in. Or get it out. How about that? Whichever one you feel like this morning.
Get it in or get it out.
Get it in or get it out. I'm just going to get it.
I'm just going to get it. It's
yours. I'm just going to get it. I've learned not to be in or out. Right? Come on, Brandon.
There you go. How was your trip, Mama? While you grooving? Huh?
I'm just getting it right now. I'm not talking. Close my eyes.
Well, I ain't getting it. I'm sipping. You do your thing. I'm going to do mine.
Come on, y'all. I can't see you. Feed them ducks.
Mm. Or just sip your coffee to it, y'all. To me, this for me, it's like sit back, sip your coffee, relax, enjoy your morning. How's everybody doing that's coming in? If you're on YouTube or if you're on Instagram Live, well, hopefully we'll have Instagram Live up. Make sure, or Facebook Live, make sure y'all on the YouTube channel like and subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe first, and let us know that you rock with us every morning. If you've been here a long time or it's your first time, go ahead and hit that like button, and we'll jump right into the podcast.
Big Mike is in. Mike Groove. I said, are you getting it in or you getting it out? I said, Big Mike is in with us now.
There we go.
All right, y'all. We're going to let the ducks go. How about that?
So funny. You're so funny. So we good to go? Well, for everybody, is Instagram up and going for us? There we go.
Could be. My end it is. Instagram probably saying, what are they doing? Because, they haven't seen the groove thing, right?
Yeah, I saw it, but then it popped off. Is it still saying that we're up and going?
Yep, says you're live.
Okay, I don't.
It says you'll find it at the top of your feed on Instagram.
Let's see here. Nope.
What is happening?
Oh well, we'll keep it pushing. I don't know why. I don't know why. I saw it pop up and then it left. Oh well. Well,
let's try it again.
We'll keep pushing.
Let's try it again. Yeah. I don't want to keep leaving them out. I don't know what's going on over there, you guys. Thank you for your patience. It does happen sometimes. It's just one of those things, and seemingly we get it a lot here lately.
Yeah.
I didn't feel so bad, Brandon. The last time you were buffering really, really bad, I got up and we finished, and I had it on the news for a minute, and they were buffering pretty bad too. And I was like, well, maybe it's just a thing that's out there. Yeah, it's like this is the big prime time. So if they buffering, I guess I need to expect it sometime. But I'm just gonna pray God's favor over that.
There you go.
So you got it. All right, so let me do this. And we're going to try it again.
Let's try it again. Thank y'all for being patient with us. Let us know where you're coming from. If you're, we usually have some of the same people in the comments on YouTube, but I want to see some new people out there. I hear that we have 80, 200, a couple in an hour or two in, we have 80 people. By the end of the day, we got over 200 people that have watched the show. So I want some of those people to give me some comments, give us some likes, give us some feedback on what you think about the show. All right, let's see if we get Instagram up here and running. All right, let's see. Okay, there we go. I think it's there. So I'm gonna hit go live. We're good to go. We're in there. Welcome everybody to the In This Season podcast with your beautiful host, the butterfly, and her son, myself, Brandon Gator. We are reading through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success. This book by Dennis Kimbro is an amazing book, high value, low cost. Make sure that you go to Amazon or wherever your books are sold and get that book, Daily Motivations for African American Success. That's him right there. Hopefully we'll be able to have him on the show one day if we can get in contact or get in touch with him. And hopefully he's doing okay. So if y'all know anything about Dennis Kimbro, please check on him and let him know that we want to have him on the show. A little bit more about this book. Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will help you achieve your true goals. In 365 powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. What it teaches will last you a lifetime. And Black Enterprise magazine said that each affirmation in this valuable and thought-provoking book takes only a few minutes to read, but is worthy of more time for contemplation. And my mother's favorite, if there's any power that can reverse the fortunes of race, the undue fortunes of race, it's character. I put that undue part in there myself. Every thought which enters our mind, every word we utter, every deed we perform makes its impression on the innermost fiber of our being. So today, and 200 and some odd days before this, we have been making those innermost impressions, those impressions on the innermost fiber of our being. And today we will make one more. So thank y'all for rocking with us. So today is September 11th, and our title for September 11th is On the Right Track. On the Right Track.
Brandon, I have not read this one.
You haven't read this one?
Nope.
All right, so it's gonna be fresh. It's gonna be fresh to you. And I usually don't read them. I like for them to be, new and novel. So you get that, you get that real first impression. But our quote of the day comes from Constance Newman, director of the Smithsonian Institute, who my father-in-law this year was actually inducted into the Smithsonian Institute. So congratulations to Richard Liu, man. He's an incredible man, but he was inducted to the Smithsonian. But Constance Newman, the director of the Smithsonian at the time, said, "Some people dream of great accomplishments while others stay awake and do them." Some people dream of great accomplishments while others stay awake and do them. Attitude has many facets. For example, the student who studies for high grades alone will probably receive them. However, the pupil who studies for knowledge will not only achieve high marks, but will gain considerably more knowledge in the process. Conversely, if you work for a salary alone, you'll draw a paycheck. But if you work to improve the quality of the organization, not only will you draw a paycheck, but you will also gain the recognition and respect of your colleagues, placing you in line for even higher pay. The following story says it quite well. Several years ago, a railroad crew was laying tracks. Suddenly, their work was interrupted by a slow-moving train. When the train came to a stop, the man peered out of a window and yelled, "Bill, is that you?" Bill Johnson, the crew chief, called back, "Sure is, Tom. It's really good to see you." With that pleasant exchange, Tom Wilson, president of the railroad, invited his longtime friend, Bill Johnson, for a visit. Then they exchanged tales, shook hands, and went their separate ways. Bill Johnson's crew was shocked that he knew the president of the railroad. Bill then explained why their lives had traveled along different paths after the two had begun working for the railroad on the same day. With that, one of his crew members asked him why he was still a crewman, laboring in the hot sun while Tom Wilson had become president. Rather wistfully, Bill explained, 20 years ago, I was laying tracks, but Tom Wilson was building a railroad. Given the opportunity, you should build, not bow. You should excite and not just exist. And our affirmation for today is, today I will tackle my task with drive and commitment. I am excited and enthusiastic about the possibilities for my future. One more time. Our affirmation today is, I will tackle my task with drive and commitment. I am excited and enthusiastic about the possibilities for my future. Over to you, Mom. What do you think?
I'm on the right track. You guys, let me turn this off because it may be. I'll turn that off because I think it's helping us to drag. On the right track, Brandon, I love it. I simply like the quote better here. This is my favorite part. Some people dream of great accomplishments while others stay awake and do them. I'm gonna go back to my pimping wearing you or you wearing the pimping. It's life wearing you or you wearing the life, right? Or you wearing life. You know, dreaming of great accomplishments. Sometimes we want acknowledgement things or we want to accomplish things so that we can be seen, not because it's us, right? So many times we want, and sure, we want to be valued where we are and with what we're doing. But I got the feeling here that Bill knows what he wants, right? He enjoys his job. It's enough for him. He doesn't need it's kind of like Wayne, is it Wayne Dyer, I think, where he talked to his daughter about the stickers, how she was in awe, coming home and he had this talk with her, like, you just do things because that's what you're supposed to do. You don't always have to have a praise or acknowledgement for it. And so she decided to tell her teacher the next time she gave her stickers, I don't need a sticker. I think she was like second grade and decided, well, I don't need a sticker. This is just knowing that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do is enough for me. And oftentimes we're not doing us. It says, while others stay awake and do them. They're awake in their own lives. They know who they are. They know what they want. They don't need, and I'm going to have to go back here, but you guys, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having the big house, the car, if you can afford it. If these things are not doing you, right? Meaning they are not keeping you away from doing you, your life, right? Gracefully, peacefully, respectively. Because a lot of times life is doing us because we are looking for the accomplishments. I want to accomplish this and this and this when you've not fully accomplished who you are or understand who you are. Because you'll get to a point where you realize the things that you have don't make you. The things that you have, they don't break you unless you don't know that you're whole without those things. There's this quote that says, I don't break, I bend. Right? We said yesterday, I'm not going to pray for an easy life. Instead, I'm going to ask to become a stronger person. When we are looking for the accomplishment, just to get the feeling, we're going to keep on wanting new things, new accomplishments. We're going to keep on wanting to be seen in the way of, oh, the world sees me, so I appear to be who I feel like I need to appear to be. But when the lights go out, when they dim, when no one's around, are you truly at peace with what you have accomplished? Or do you still need more? And what does Bill say here? Because when his team asks, why are you still out here? Like like out here makes this work. Bill realizes that, hey, what I'm doing here, it makes it work. This is all part of it. And so often we don't want the job. We want the position, right? The title. We don't want to do the work behind the job, right? And so, Brandon, it's like you talk about marriage. You say people don't they want to get married. They don't want a marriage, right? Because it's different. Y'all want to put on the dress and the tuxedo and you want to go out and spend all this money on the things, the accomplishment of it, the sight of it to others. But boy, when it's time to get up and fix that coffee, when you're sleepy,
Mm.
when it's time to turn the other cheek, knowing that you're right just for the sake of.
Oh, looks like we lost the butterfly there.
I don't know. We
We good?
lost everything there for a minute. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna keep it moving, you guys. Yeah. Yeah, you were it was both of us buffering out. Um so but yeah, so it's that kind of thing, you guys. So are you awake and are you doing you? And what does that mean and what does that look like? And can you remember a time when you weren't awake and weren't doing you? And what did that feel look like? Right? So over to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Appreciate you. One thing I noticed when I was reading this, or just one of the things that stood out to me, I guess, was the the balance of awareness that it must take for someone with vision. And I think there's a difference between vision. There's two kinds of vision. There's short-sighted vision, and then there's vision. There's long-term vision. There's short-sighted, and then there's foresighted, in a sense. And the difference between the two men, the one that had become, I think his name was Tim, that had become, or Tom, excuse me, Tom Wilson, that had become president of the railroad, and Bill, what's the other guy's name?
Yeah, Bill.
Was Bill. The difference between Tom and Bill was that even though they started on the same day, both laying tracks, the difference that Bill alluded to was that Tom was building a railroad, whereas he was just laying tracks. And so if you have if you're short-sighted, you may go to work, like the pastor said, just to get that check. You're doing something to pass, to meet a requirement, to meet a need, right? And once your needs are met, what else is there? Do you strive for more? And more doesn't always mean more money and more things like that, but are you striving to be better today than you were yesterday? If you work 20 years laying tracks, by the 10th year, into that 20-year span, you should be better than you were on year 5 at laying those tracks. But not only that, but you should understand why the tracks are being laid. What's the logistics to getting the tracks there? What's the process? I remember hearing about different people in the music industry. One in particular who just went to the studio to be a volunteer. Like he had an internship. That's what it was. He had an internship that wasn't paid. And he stayed after and did extra things. He wanted to know every single part about the record industry. And he ended up becoming a record industry mogul. But it was off of the strength originally of him learning the ropes without even getting paid. Similar stories I've heard of people just taking that extra step where they weren't looking just to make the money. They were looking to make a difference, right, in the organization. And whereas those people are, they have foresight. They know the potential, like we read about yesterday. They know the potential of what could be, not just what is. There's a difference between someone who's laying bricks and someone who's building a home, right? I didn't say a house, but a home. And the difference is when you're just laying bricks, you might be like, oh yeah, they just need this room. They just need that room. They need a kitchen, a bathroom, a couple bedrooms, a living room. Cool. That's what they need. But if you think about building a home, you'll be like, when they walk in the door, what's the first thing they see? Is this something that I would want to see? Is this a family room or is this for a bachelor? You know what I mean? You'll start thinking about the quality as opposed to you'll think about the sum of the parts as opposed to just the parts individually themselves. There's a difference between laying a brick and building a home. Now, both entail the same thing. If you're building a home, I'm sure you'll have to lay a brick or some type of material down. You'll have to put down a foundation. You'll have to, frame it and pour your cement and do all your measurements and put on a roof. All the same things happen, but the quality of the intention that goes behind it, the foresight that goes into what you put into the structure, how you build it, not just what you build, is what makes the difference between what just looks like a normal house and what looks like, man, that will really be a nice place to raise a family,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's a difference in that type of quality. And that difference is often expressed in the value that's assessed on the home or whatever the resource or product is, right? So I take that same thing with us, right? Yes, it's good to break it down and have to break it down to its brick by brick, right? But at the same time, you must have a balanced foresight so that you can see what it will all sum up to, because that's going to help you in the end. Now, I'm not saying try to build a home in a day. They say Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Surely it wasn't. But knowing the process and also understanding the qualitative um, value of its finished product of its sum of the parts in the end will make you better. Even in the beginning, it'll make a difference in the way that you lay that brick. If you know that if imagine if you were building a home but you knew the family that was going to live there, you knew them personally. Can you imagine if you were a home builder and the person that was going to live in the home that you were building was someone that you had known for years, your best friend, someone that you loved and cared for? There would be a certain kind of care that you would take in the building of that home. Well, much like this is our life. We're not just having a day, but this day we'll never get back. We're building a legacy, right? We're building, the reputation of what will be remembered about us by the future generations, by our descendants, by the people that we love and quite possibly will leave behind, and it's taking that extra thought, that extra bit of attention and intention and awareness that might give us a little more patience when we're speaking to our loved ones, right? That might give us a little more, no, I'll take care of this right now with our family. No, we need to get the family together now because time is undefeated, right? This life is fragile and could be over at any moment. And when it is, it's done. Once the final brick is laid, that house is built. Once the bed is made, it's time to lay in it, right? Once the grave is dug, someone's going to be put in it. It means that someone has passed on. But what is a life, right? A life, right? So think about in the term of a year. What is the legacy of this year? 525,600 minutes in a year. Every single one of those counts. Every minute counts, but at the end, when you look back, you don't think, what did I do this 1 minute in the month of May or May 12th, in the third hour, 6 minute. No, you don't think that. You think, how was my last year? How far have I come? So having that vision from the onset and then looking back, you have short-sightedness, you have foresight, and then you have hindsight, which they say is 2020. And when you look back on your year and look back on your life, you want to have said, I didn't just lay tracks. I built a railroad. You don't want to just say, I laid bricks. You want to say, I built a home. You don't want to just say that I got a check. You want to say, I have built a career. You don't want to say, I lived I lived day to day. You want to say, I built a legacy. So that's the difference. It doesn't mean that you forego and always are in the future, always in the past. That gives you the ability to stay present, a balance between what is and what was, what is, and what could be, right? But we're building more than we're spending more than time, right? We're building a legacy, and that's all I have. Over to you, Mom.
Brandon, so as you were speaking, I thought about their question Bill's crew asked. So it says Bill Johnson's crew was shocked that he knew the president of the railroad. Bill then explained why their lives had traveled along different paths after the two had begun working for the railroad on the same day. With that, one of the crew members asked him why he was still a crewman laboring in the hot sun while Tom Wilson had become president. Rather, okay, Bill explained 20 years ago, I was laying tracks, but Tom Wilson was building a railroad. What good is the railroad without the tracks?
Right.
What good is it? So they lost sight of the importance of Tom's job, right, as well, of
Mm.
Bill's job. I'm sorry. It's because, again, while Tom is building the railroad company, Bill is out there working so that the railroad company can thrive.
I
And
have a
Bill
question.
may have been one of those ones that, like, I'm not a suit and office kind of guy. I like being outside. I like hands on. I like working with my hands, right? You have a
Hmm.
question, Brad? What is it?
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm not sure. I might have interpreted this differently. From my understanding, I don't know. Maybe I made this assumption, but I thought Tom and Bill started doing the exact same work, laying tracks.
Well, he
And
said
the
they
and
started on the same day. Let's see if it says while he was still a crewman laboring in the box. I'm sorry, hot in the hot sun. President rather visually explained 20 years ago, I was laying bricks. I was laying tracks, but Tom Wilson was building a railroad.
I thought that was the distinction, but I thought it was alluding to the fact that, building a railroad, I thought that was alluding to they were doing the same job, but his
And
intention
his
and
mindset,
awareness
he
was
was
different.
building a railroad company.
Right,
Okay.
right. Like
Okay.
like 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 we're not just making a record. We're this record is part and parcel to building a record label in a sense.
Right. And if so, it still, to me, it still brings back this that that was what Tom wanted to do. And I don't
Hmm.
see Bill wanting to seemingly, and for the sake of the story, maybe Bill did not
Right.
want to be in an office behind a desk, right?
Hmm.
Being the
Hmm.
president of a company. He was, and to me, that's what the quote is saying. I'm not looking for great accomplishments. This is I'm doing what I love, right?
Hmm.
I'm going
Hmm.
to do
Hmm.
me. I'm going, because the quote says, some people dream of great accomplishments while others stay awake and they do them. So, because not everybody, like, I've had a homeless guy or heard, I knew of him, and he said, I don't know how y'all do the 9 to 5. I couldn't be controlled like that. I'm a free
Hmm.
spirit, basically. So he's doing him at whatever cost. And truth be told, a lot of us, we're just not. We're puppets. It's like I mentioned yesterday, we've sold ourselves to the pawn shop. And we
Hmm.
keep going back and getting it out, getting us out, putting us back in, getting us out, putting us back in. So, are you doing what you love? Because if you're not, you ought to be. Find out what that is. But if you don't love you, how do you do what you love? How do you know what you love? Remember the crossing guard in Clarksville, Tennessee, that I said everybody talked about, and I had to go see him. And he did it in the rain just as he would do it in the sun.
Hmm.
Like, you would pass by this guy and he would make you want to do what he was doing because there was so much joy and peace and love. So he's not looking for the accomplishment. He's just doing what he loves. And when you do what you love and you do it with grace, no matter what it is, because oftentimes we will think about your trash, the people who come around and collect your trash. Think about that, right? How much do you think about them um, before they go missing? There was a time here where they stopped picking up the trash for quite a while, right?
Yeah, it was a 2013.
Right. So then
Hmm.
we see them. We miss their presence. But how often do we think about and we're thankful for them when they never miss a pickup day? But if you go out there a day or two and that trash is still there, you know? So to me, no job is unimportant. No job is unimportant because there's a need for that job. And the person who doesn't, well, I'll say this. Remember the quote: "A woman can make," and this could go both ways. The trash collector feel like a president, the president of the United States, a woman can make the president of the United States feel like a trash collector. And that just goes to show what we really think about the job of collecting trash. But still,
Hmm.
it's important. There is some importance there.
And
And
both are very needed.
both are very needed,
Yeah.
very needed. So, um, also, Brandon, I'm going to go back because I thought yesterday I thought we missed the diamond in the rough. We missed this quote. I always had only one prayer. Lord, just crack the door a little bit and I'll kick it open all the way. We didn't even touch on that yesterday.
Yeah, we did, and that's huge. Yeah.
That's huge and applicable to today. You know,
Hmm.
you want crack the door to where?
Yeah.
What do you expect to be on the other side of that door when you kick it open, if you will kick it open? Because we'll say the prayer and the door will open, crack, but sometimes we won't go through it. We're so
Yeah.
busy looking for the accomplishments of life to be seen by people who have not seen themselves. So how can they truly see you if they're not awake in doing them? Because if they're awake in doing them, all they want to do is help you do you.
Hmm.
I'm going to say that again. If they are awake and doing them, all they really want to do is help you see you. They're not going to compete with you. They're not going to be mad because you're walking by them saying, "Hey, Tammy," as they go in their, three-piece suit or whatever up to the top floor. And you're out there enjoying the beautiful sun, meeting new people every day. You know, they won't care. They will see the importance of what you do, which is doing you. And most times, the people that pass you going up to the 20th floor have so much regret, but they got stuck in it. They
Mm.
get stuck in it,
Hmm.
right? So, there's a lot to take away from this. And you guys, if you've not gotten this book and you're listening, even if you pop in and out, get it. It's a small spend, right? But compared to some of the things you probably spend your money on, that's a big spend. Um, it's nothing, right? So you'll be able to go back and read these things for yourself. But I like this one. So I'll ask, are you on the right track? Because I'm not sure about Tom because it doesn't say a whole lot about Tom, but I'm pretty sure Bill is on the right track.
Mm.
Bill is awake and doing him.
And he wasn't
So,
and he wasn't salty at all about the differences or
yes,
the perceived differences between his job and Tom's job.
right.
He saw them both as critical. You know, like you
Hmm.
said, he might be what the workers consider as the head trash man, while
Hmm.
Tom is the president of the trash company, right?
Right.
But they're both needed, and if one, I'll tell you this, there would be no president of the company if there were no trash workers, right?
Right.
But there could still be trash workers if there was no president. The
Right.
president could you could switch, if you switch the president out, that's fine. But if you get all new, you could switch it out and the business could still keep going. Like a place could have an interim person, or they could not have a president for a quarter even. You know what I mean? And the business itself could still usually function. But if you had all those people who were putting building the tracks gone for even a day, the business would go to a screeching halt because they wouldn't be able to do maintenance and all these different things on them. So we all need each other in these organizations. Never discount your position or where God has placed you in an organization. No, be grateful for it, because what you might be complaining about or what you might be discounting could be someone else's prayer.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah. And
but that's
Brandon,
all
you
I
also
got.
you also mentioned, and we'll get out of here, about the build. You mentioned something about building a house. I've always thought of older homes as being much better homes, but I think it's
Mm,
because people who build homes back then had more character, integrity, and things like that. They built homes that my opinion, that they wanted their great grands, and great 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 grands to be driven by and said, hey, your grandfather's hands was in that, right? And today your builder is one who wants to get in and get out, because they know that they've gotten in and built it with such little integrity. Like Brandon says, if you and maybe even then some people won't, if you are building a home that you know your mother or your children or your you perhaps you would do it differently, right? But you shouldn't. You should do it as if they're going to end up here. That when I'm gone, I want this to speak for who I was while I was here, what I did. Now these builders will come in and they build these houses so quick, and they don't ever want you to see them again or find them. Why? Because they know they haven't did it right. They use the least amount so they keep the most in their pockets and don't care what happens to your home, your family when they're gone. Right? So Bill is that kind of person that's going to make sure those tracks are ready for that train. He's going to make sure. So you want people like that doing whatever it is. And then I'll make this my last one. Makes me think about, as we talked about the trash collectors, whereas let's say the owner of a trash company has too many people out in one day. So he has to be one of those drivers and go pick up that trash. And for our ladies, say Mr. Bobby Joe comes up and he's getting your trash, and you're coming out to go to work, and you're getting in your Benz, your little red bottoms, and, nice suit. And Mr. Bobby Joe tries to holler at you, but you don't know he's the owner. You think he's just the trash collector. But what he's done is he's learned how to run his business, and he's running it from every angle. So if people call out, guess what he has to do? He has to go pick up the trash. But you see him as just the trash collector. So you're not too interested in him. But what if you found out that he owned it a bit later? And now he was a fine guy. He just was the trash collector. But you saw him later in a suit, and he tried to holler at you. Think about that.
Yeah. And Mom, you mentioned something, and we can wrap up with this, but it reminded me of a quote that I read that said, "A healthy nation is a nation where old men plant trees that they will never eat the fruit thereof." A healthy nation is when, when old men plant trees that they will never eat the fruit of. Because some trees, let's say a palm tree, for example, takes 20 years until it produces it produces the dates on the date palm. So imagine a man in his 80s, 70, 80 years old out there planting a tree. And there was a story that was made from this where a king came by and saw a very old man planting a palm tree. It was like, why are you planting this tree? You'll by the time it matures, you most likely would be gone. And the old man laughed and said, I ate from trees that I never planted. As a child, I ate from trees that I never planted. So there's a responsibility upon every generation to set the foundation for the next. So if you're building a home, know that there's a human being. There's a miracle. And I looked up the chances of you personally being born. It's 1 in 400 trillion. 1 in 400 trillion chances that you would be here right now, born on this earth. And one of those miracles is who you will be building that home for. One of those miracles is who you interact with at the grocery store. One of those miracles is the person, if you're an officer, you're pulling over, right? And everyone they love is one of those miracles. So treat them as such and don't discount the dignity of a human being, the dignity in the creation of a human being. All right. So that's all we got for you today, y'all. Thank y'all so much for rocking with
Fine.
us. Yeah, you got something?
Just remember the Proverbs 15, I think it was. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it's better for a couple to live in loving harmony with meager possessions and simple meats than to be surrounded with luxury and eat expensive cuts of meat while despising each other. Let's make that personal. It's better for me to live in loving harmony with meager possessions and simple meals than to be surrounded with luxury and eat expensive cuts of meat while despising my life or myself. Think about that, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you love. Awaken and do you. That's all I have, Brandon.
Do you? Well, thank y'all so much for rocking with us and letting us be a part of your morning routine or whatever part of your routine of the day. If you've been here this entire time on the live show, we appreciate it. We love being able to start our day with you, and we hope that you guys feel the same about starting your day with us. So let's start the day on the right track every morning, not just this morning, but every morning. That is the title of our passage today, On the Right Track. Some people dream of great accomplishments while others stay awake and do them. That's from Constance Newman, the director of the Smithsonian Institute. And our affirmation for the day was, today I will tackle my task with drive and commitment. I am excited and enthusiastic about the possibilities for my future. Last thing I want to mention to you guys, I will be fighting in Tampa, Florida on September the 21st. For CFFC. If you are interested in tuning in, or if you're interested in coming, let me know. I have tickets right here, and it will be on pay-per-view. So please let me know, and I will get that information to my mother or to you specifically. But again, I'll be fighting September 21st in Tampa, and I might have to take off next week. I probably will from the show just to make sure I recover and get good rest and prepare for what I need. So if y'all miss me for a little bit, don't worry, I will be back. But again, let me know. And thank y'all for day 224 for In the Season podcast. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and get me that information and I'll just post it out because,
Okay.
We'll post it each
Cool.
day. So people might want to just look on the wherever it is streaming. I guess it's streaming live.
Yeah. And also if y'all want to support in any kind of way, whether it be, there's a lot of costs that come associated with planning and prepping for the fight. If you guys want to support that anyway, I would love to give y'all my Cash App. I'll take it. I promise you it could benefit because there are so many things from eye exams that I have to pay out of pocket, all kind of stuff first. So if you guys can't make it and you still wanna help me out with this crazy dream of mine, please feel free to. I would love that, and I'll appreciate it, and I'll be grateful for it, and I would pray for you, and I'll try to be the same support that you are to me for whatever you have. So thank y'all so much.
Y'all pour into Bonehead. Bless him.
Bonehead.
Nothing too small. Yeah, Bonehead.
Thank y'all.
All right. Y'all know what we're going to do, right?
We're going to vibe. We're going to bring the ducks back in.
Yeah, come on. Come on, y'all. Move it out. Out or in, whatever you need for today. Right?
Yeah.
Come on, be bobbing over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, y'all enjoy this beautiful day, okay? Be great.
Love y'all.
What you say?